Hello everybody, welcome to one of my first 3-play reviews of my own gameplay. Here I'm flying the Fireball FR-1. This is mainly for Ike's Inquisition. He was asking me how to fly this thing, and so I bought it, took it out with him, played a couple games, and had a pretty good one here. So I'm going to do a little replay review and just go over my decisions and show an example of a good match and potentially how to use this thing quite well. We start out with a decent altitude advantage. I found that this thing climbs pretty poorly and does pretty poorly above 3,500 meters in altitude. So my ideal situation... My ideal situation is to bring this down in altitude, and as you can see here, everyone's below me. Everybody and their mother is below me, so this is fantastic news. So I begin my descent, get a random first kill from a guy that J's out. Very strange, but I'm not complaining here. And I'm dropping my throttle here just to manage my speed and not overspeed. And I'm trying to pick my first target. I'm looking at that Key 96 here, but ultimately I want that pure cancer there, the pure Mersky. Checking out the Spitfire, keep my altitude, going very fast and see the pure Mersky coming up for me. Thankfully so I just go up a little bit further, don't allow him to gain any distance, and I keep my eyes close on him until I realize his nose is about to drop, read his energy. Then as he stalls, come back down on him. This is one of my first games of this thing, so my aim's pretty piss poor, I can't lie. But a white tear drips down my leg as I secure my first kill on the VL Pure Mersky. Keeping my speed fast, I extend and I gain altitude. Seeing that 109 here, I know I'm way too fast, and even if he completes that turn, he's not going to catch me. I see I've got other problems like the Key 96 and the Zero, so I don't really want to go for him right now. The last thing I want to do is get wrapped up in a dogfight, lose my energy, and get stuck with the Zero on my ass. So, again, keeping my speed, I slowly engage in another climb, keeping my eyes on the Zero here, seeing what he does, seeing if he tries to go up for me just like the Pure Mersky did, and checking where the Key 96 is before I can, decide to commit on him. I feel I'm, comfortable enough being alone, and, I expect the 109 not really to turn back from me, so I start to engage an energy trap, where I climb up, maximize my altitude before dropping down and ending up on the 06. He does the right thing. Also, I thought he was supposed to turn into me, but he turns away. There he goes down. And now he turns into me underneath me. That's the right thing. I get a couple hits. Nothing crazy. Silver replay. Sucking ass there. Didn't shoot for nearly that long in the actual replay, but whatever. And again, using my speed from the dive, I just extend away till about 1.50 km. And then I just slowly climb up again. Don't climb immediately because he could just turn up and shoot you. Extend first to about 1.5 km. And then climb up. Keeping an eye on that 109 to see if he's gaining distance. So closing in very quickly, and I see him. He's pretty distracted by that A20G, so I've got another opportunity for that Zero if I need to. But here I'm more focused on maybe supporting my teammates, because I don't want to spend all game focusing on a Zero. So instead, I see the 109 in a pretty compromised position, going very slow, and there's no friendlies around, so I take my liberties, position myself firmly on a 6 and initiate my dive. Going fast enough. He doesn't seem to realize until it's too late. And as I'm, matching my aim up, I get my fourth kill. I'm watching the Spitfire here because he seems to be the second most dangerous opponent besides that Zero over there, and I'm just seeing what he does. Ike's firmly on a 6 and I trust him to handle it, so I go to turn towards the Zero. Seeing my other friendly, the Yak-9, 20 kilometers away at the airbase, I'm going to make sure I pressure this guy and make sure he doesn't gain any altitude that I wouldn't want him to, because he's a very dangerous plane. The Spitfire seems to have dumped himself into the ground. Irregardless of that, I'm, maximizing my altitude over the Zero again, using my high speed at low altitudes. These engines are very effective at low altitude, so I can kind of just throw this plane around. Again, energy trap, he doesn't fall for it. Go up, go back down on him, secure my place on a 6, and he turns into me again, going underneath me, but he kind of misinputs here. Fucks up, and he gives me all the time in the world to secure that shot. He shouldn't have turned left away from me. He should have kept turning right into me, forcing me towards the ground. After that kill, I noticed the Key 96 on my 6 and extend away, keeping my speed up. I don't need to... Sorry, it's another Zero. The Zero on my 6, I keep close eye on him to see where he's maneuvering, see if I can support my teammates here. I notice he's turning away, so I just attack him. Keep another close eye, see if he's going to go for me. He doesn't. And then firmly plant myself on his 6. I'm too fast, he can't outrun me. He's going to turn in front of me. I shoot to avoid the head-on, make sure he doesn't go for it. And then he gives me a free shot here. That's another kill. Okay, apologies for my speak earlier. There's a Key 43, bad news. And also the Key 96. There he is. So this is still pretty dangerous. Some very dangerous Japanese vehicles. Key 43 could definitely catch me if he's got altitude behind him and energy. Key 96 does potentially the same. I'm going to let Ike initiate the fight there, and I'm going to follow him shortly after, having at least 5 kilometers between me and the Key 96. And I'm going to try and wrap myself behind the Key 43, but he goes head-on with an A20G and just commits die. They both crash each other, you know. Fucking what do you expect, man? Either way, makes my life a little bit easier, because now it's basically just a Key 96 to handle at the moment. And at the moment, you know, I'm not focused on climbing. I have a lot of speed, so I'm going to keep that instead. I don't need to climb right now. What I need to do is to bait this guy into a fight, and considering what the Key 96 is like, it's very good at keeping energy, it's very good at turning, it can be pretty fucking fast. I'm going to expect this guy to play pretty passively. So my job here is to try and encourage him to attack me, because then I can force a reversal, because I know he compresses at high speed. So hopefully I can give him a bit of sugar, and maybe convince him to come back down on me. But, soon enough, another Spitfire is spotted, and that is bad news bears. The 96 going down on Ike. I'm going to try and interrupt, maybe convince the one at 96 to go into the ground. He doesn't fall for the bait. Keeping an eye on both of them, watching the Spitfire, see he's going in very fast, see him shoot, he's definitely going for me, pull into him, forcing him into the ground, and he nearly eats shit. Just manages to pull out of that. Keeping an eye on the 96 just to see where it is, wondering if I can go for the Spitfire. Take another gander. He's definitely going for me. I can't go for the Spitfire. I avoid the 96 instead. Go underneath him, force him down. He nicks me barely. Ike doesn't do the same. He's just right in front of that 96, and he manages to secure the kill on Ike. Sadly, rest in ripperonis. So now I'm in a pretty tough situation. I have speed over these people, but not energy over that 96. The Spitfire outturns me. My best... and then I see the yak there. I'm like, okay, well, I can definitely at least try and distract the Spitfire with the yak. And I can take advantage of the fact that the 96 is playing so slow and passive that I can, you know, attack between his runs on the Spitfire with the yak. So I'm keeping an eye on him, maintaining my distance, maintaining my energy, just seeing what they do, watching that yak 9, and I see the yak 9 go for the 96, and that's bad news bears for me. But suddenly the Spitfire has a shit for brain moment and decides to support the 96, even though he totally doesn't need to, giving me opportunity to turn back around and force a head on. I shoot way earlier, knowing my 50 kills are faster than his 20s. Got a sphere, crit his engine, more slightly, and then also got a water leak. He's probably going to be out of the fight. Then, I keep it down to the 96, avoid the head on, and I immediately try and force him into a reversal. I pull up, try and predict his maneuvers, pulling ahead of him, predicting where he's going to be, and I pull my right at the last second to get a nice shot. Wingtip, that's going to be annoying for him at the very least, even if it's not much. It's going to be very annoying to fly with. Yeah, I pull back into him. I don't realize the J26 is there. That's very lucky. I pull neg G last second to avoid the shot from the 96, just in time. I should have died from that J26. I just didn't know he was there. He pulls back into me. I go back up just to decide what to do with the situation. And I see 96 heading away. Spitfire's RTB. J26 is the last opponent that's really attacking us, so I have some time. I dive down towards the J26 and put myself on a 6 and see what I can do. I see him going up, and I'm keeping my eye on that 96. Really trying to make sure he doesn't surprise me. I'm going to let this guy focus down on me. As he bears down, he's shooting very early, so I pull to the side. And then as I see he's coming down, his nose is dropping, so I pull up above him. He shoots too late. Pull back around, pull ahead of where I think he's going to be. Fire. Good shot. I hear the 96. That 37 is unmistakable, so I start diving and pulling towards the ground. Pull him down, pull him back up, forcing him to roll because he rolls quite poorly. He misses the shot. Go for the reversal again. Quite missed the shot there. Going for another prediction of my aim, you know, pulling my nose way ahead of where he's going to be, so when I'm in position when he stalls, a bit too high. That hit from J26 takes him out of the match, and the Yak 9 is able to secure the Key 96. Very good work. A few shots of spite there, because I did not enjoy fighting that 96. That was pretty stressful. Did a good job of keeping pressure, but he was too passive. He was too passive. He gave us too much time. But yeah. Pretty from that point forward, it's about 2 players left. The only players left are another Key 96 and a Spitfire that I heavily crit. Bless me. The only players left are a Key 96 and the Spitfire that I heavily crit. And so the rest of the game is pretty much, you know, I'm low on ammo. I'm kind of low on fuel. I think I have about 2 minutes left, not even. So I'm like, I'm going to go RTB. And soon enough, after RTB, the Spitfire crashes. And I'm able to find the Key 96. But that was a pretty tough match being left. I was very lucky to have the Yak 9 there. My entire plan was to use him to distract the Spitfire because I cannot beat the Spitfire in a 1v1. It just turns too well, and I didn't have an energy advantage over him. And I was very lucky that the J-26 didn't target me. If he did whilst I was flying upwards, I would have definitely died. But yeah, the Seafire turns decently well, has very good energy management, extremely high speeds at low altitude. He just suffers at, 4,000 meters and above. Really struggles. So here, I watch the 96, he goes for the head-on, I just pull away. I've got altitude over him, I don't need to stick on that. I pull up to maybe see if he's going to go nose down, but I watch he actually commits for me, so I'm just going to extend again. Totally don't need to attack this guy. The Yak-9 is on his 6, I can just bait him. So I extend away, I'm much faster. I pull up again to secure my position, maybe bait him, make him go upwards for the Yak-9. Give him an easier shot. 96 doesn't take the bait, so I flop back down onto his 6. 9 missing almost every single damn shot. Fair enough. And I've got this best profile I could ever ask for. The best shot. So I just triple cup of 50s. Fire. Easy kill. And that's 8 to finish the match. Looking pretty dire there towards the end, but handled it well. Yeah, that's roughly how I play the Fireball. It's a very, very, very good aircraft, especially at 4.3.